Buenos dias, mi amigos. Welcome to another episode of A Taboo Life, where everyone has a story to tell. I'm your host, Drew Franks, or Frank for short, and I want to thank you guys again for listening. Come check out the website, ataboolife.com, where you can read politically incorrect articles, other podcast episodes. You can check out the short stories, the poems I have on there, because I am that sappy. And I've written a few books on there I'm really proud about, and you can read it for free on the website. Again, the website is ataboolife.com. Has plenty of content, and if you don't like it, then what can I say? Go fuck yourself. Today's episode, which I will dedicate to my friend Joe, because it was his idea to find for this episode and for me to find these people. But I'm really excited about how this episode turned out. Originally, I was supposed to only interview Rebecca and Kat, which that was their aliases originally, and you'll find out in the episode like one of them revealed their true name and didn't really give a shit. But originally, I was going to interview two women on the life of swingers, and their husbands and partners were in the room. I was doing an interview, and one jumped in, the other one jumped in, so it ended up being a big swinger episode. So instead of two people I interviewed four. I think it came out great, but I do want to apologize about the sound quality. I have cleaned up the sound quality the best I can, but we only had two mics, and we were exchanging mics as they were talking between four people. But I felt like it was a great thing because there was so much to learn about the life of swingers. Because what I had my biases or my preconceived notions about swinging life, and it turned out I was really wrong about it. These are really nice people. They're really friendly, and they're really honest up front with me about what goes on behind closed doors, and it was actually really eye opening. So that's my little rant. I'm going to start the podcast episode now. I hope you guys enjoy this, and keep an open mind to what they say. Even if you don't want to do that life, just listen to what they say and kind of respect the people who choose to live their life a different way and don't give a damn about it. So here's the episode. We're live. Well, we're not live, but we're recording.
Okay.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us why we're doing this episode?
Okay. I'm Rebecca, and I'm a swinger.
I'm Kat, and I'm a swinger.
Guys, we're talking to two swingers today. This is a really special episode, and we're going to go into the culture of swinging. So, who wants to get started on how they got started into swinging?
I guess I'll start because I've done it longer. I've been in swinging for a very long time. With my husband, we've been doing it for about 10 years, and then I was swinging with my ex-husband for about 5 years. So in total, I've been doing it for about 15 years.
And I have only been doing it for about a year and a half, and I got into swinging with my current husband.
So, how did you guys actually get started? Like, what was the first step towards it?
Well, with me, my ex-husband got me into it, because he would go out and cheat all the time, and I was having a hard time handling that, and he was like, he's like, let's swing, and he's like, that way what I'm doing when I disappear for days on end. So I was like, okay, and I still wasn't comfortable with it, but now that I'm older, I am very comfortable with it.
And for me, it's something that my husband had done previously as a single male, but never as a couple. And I was always kind of curious about the lifestyle and about it. So I asked him about it, and I talked to him about it. We knew Chelsey and Jose. They were our friends before we were swingers.
Mm-hmm.
And Jose and I swung with him before we knew you.
Right, before I was in the picture. So, it was something that I was curious about, and we decided to try it. And Chelsey, I said,
yeah, you said it twice. I didn't.
You're okay.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It's okay.
You'll
we're not.
edit that out?
I'll edit these episodes, but we're not using last names, so it's not like.
Yeah, I honestly don't care.
I do care.
Okay, we're just gonna go with Cat for you.
Yeah.
Or Rebecca, right?
Cat.
We're just going Cat for you, and you don't care about.
Yeah, I honestly don't care.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, guys, we're using aliases. I let my guests use aliases for their private lives and professional lives, but we forgot to use our names, our fake names.
It's okay.
Okay, so.
But anyway, they were my first experience of swinging.
So you guys just basically just talked about it, and like, how long did that conversation take? Like, was it just like a 10-minute conversation? Like, yeah, I want to.
Not for me, no. It was something that we had to discuss for a while. It wasn't, it wasn't one conversation. It was many conversations over a long period of time. I had a lot of questions about it. How it worked and, different things involved and that sort of thing. So it was many conversations over a long period of time.
Wow. And what was like the first like situation that you guys got into when you actually decide to actually do swinging or become a swinger?
My first experience, like I said, was with my co-person here and her husband. And it was here at my house, and we got together for dinner one night and decided to just try it and see how it goes. And we did what was called soft swapping, not hard swapping. Soft swapping is where there's no penile penetration.
Okay.
So it's a lot of touching, mouth, things, that sort of thing.
So it's just basically just foreplay and fooling around?
A lot of foreplay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was my first experience, and since then I've moved on to broader horizons.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that a little bit. And Chelsey, because now I want to call you Rebecca.
It's fine. You can call me whatever. I answer to both.
And like, what was besides what your ex-husband or ex-boyfriend was doing?
It was my ex-husband, but with my current husband, we at the time we were monogamous, and I caught him trying to cheat, and I pretty much told him, I was like, listen, you're not smart enough to cheat because I will find out. So I told him, listen, this is what my ex-husband and I did, and it worked fairly well for us, and so I explained it to him, and of course he loved the idea because get to have sex with other women and not get in trouble for it. So and so and then we went from there, found other swingers. And
wow. So because of the way I met you guys, I did a little undercover work at the bar at I'm not going to name the bar, but it's a bar in Jacksonville, and I found out through Reddit how to find you guys. Are there more spots like that around Jacksonville, or because I thought that was hard to find just that one?
Yeah, there's a couple more spots in Jacksonville. They're kind of little secrets because obviously we don't want people going there and judging us. The bar that we go to, a lot of it's locals, but we all know each other. Everybody knows what everybody's there for, so there's no judgment on that.
Yeah.
And swingers night is only on Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before I went to that bar, I researched it, and they had like different event nights. Like they had like an open mic night, and they had the magic mic night where they had like the male strippers there.
Yeah.
So
and they have pool tournaments and dart tournaments there, but on other nights it's very vanilla. People just go there and hang out with each other. And
yeah, because when I went, I was a little surprised because I was expecting like a weirder looking people and the bar be kind of like really seedy, and the bar wasn't that bad. It was like your average, Florida bar. People really nice, and everyone looked pretty average. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of surprised by that. Like, oh, seemed like nice people, and actually it took me like
I think it took me an hour to just work up the courage to actually walk up to the table with all you or some of you guys were at.
Yeah.
Because like I was like, how do I tell them like, hey, I want to do an interview. I think you guys are swingers. So are you guys swingers? And do you want to do an interview? So it took me like an hour and 2 glasses of wine to actually work up the courage to do that.
I
Yeah.
understand that because the first time that I ever went there, it was my first time at a swingers bar. And I was really nervous and shy, and I've since come out of my shell, but I understand where you're coming from
Yeah.
because you're not sure exactly how to approach the subject.
Yeah, and plus like I'm doing this. I'm asking people like, hey, I want you guys to reveal something about your personal life to an audience. So some people might take that the wrong way, some people may not. So
Yeah.
I was like, oof, this might go wrong, but I'll do my best to do it politely.
Yeah. Everybody there is really friendly too. So.
Yeah, so like tell me more about the community, because when we were talking Friday, I was really surprised that like you guys are like within that community is like really close, and like you go on cruise vacations together,
Yep.
cruises together.
Right now, there's a trip. They all went to Costa Rica, and they plan it out, so that it's affordable. And we do cruises sometimes.
Mhm.
We go on different, we do camping trips all together. So
It's a very friendly community.
Yeah.
it's very friendly.
And they're normal people. They're just into a different subject. I mean, it's just we're into swinging, but we're normal people, and most of us have very vanilla lives. We all have jobs.
Yeah.
And we keep this part of our life separate.
I think that's like with any fetish, Some people like other, fetishes, and, they keep it kind of quiet,
Well, are there any like unwritten rules to this type of lifestyle?
The main rule is you have to be honest
Mhm.
with, the entire party. Like with my husband, we do, there's different stages. You have soft swapping, you have same room, you have different rooms. I allow my husband to go out. He has a girlfriend out in Lake City.
Mhm.
And as long as he tells me I'm going to go see her, and he's honest with me, I'm perfectly 100% fine with that. And vice versa.
So, are there any like besides rules, any violations that within the community that you guys don't stand for, or you just push people out for?
No means no.
Yeah, no means no.
Obviously,
No
okay,
means
so obviously
no
that.
is
If you're
is the big
being
one.
pushy and and making the other person uncomfortable, yeah, we will be like this person's not a nice person, he's way too pushy,
Mhm.
Or again, if you say, like I went to her husband and said, hey, I want to have sex with you, but I don't want her to know about it, just you, me. That's a no.
Okay, so
That's cheating. That's not
So-
swinging.
what you guys? So what you guys are not cheating if you guys are just honest about it. Everybody's honest. Everything's on
And
the
we all
table.
know about it.
Yep.
If I wanted to have sex with him,
Mhm.
Yes.
yeah.
Just to let you guys
I
know,
would
their
tell,
husbands are in the room with me talking. So everybody, the husbands are here, and
Yes, we are. Hello.
But like if I'd say, hey, you want to have a little fun, and if he's like, yeah, the first thing he does is he tells her,
Mhm.
and I tell my husband, hey, I want to have fun with this person, Now if I didn't tell my husband I want to have fun with this person, and he didn't tell his wife that he wants to have fun with me, and we went off and we did it secretly,
yeah.
that's a no, because that is cheating, because you're not being honest with your partner.
Okay. Do you guys have any examples of like people you had like kind of kick out of the group, or?
There was actually one at the bar that we went to. There was a guy up there that was being really pushy with all the women and forcing himself on the women and everything, and they booted him out.
Really?
They made him leave. Yeah.
What is
Okay.
No.
No, this was probably about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was an African American fellow.
Oh, I remember
Remember
you telling
him?
me.
And
Yeah.
he was grabbing and feeling.
Oh,
every
hold on
woman.
one second. I want to record this.
Just come, stick your face in it over here.
Do you want to use a fake name or?
Yes.
My name's Michael.
Michael. Okay. Remember, there's no last names on here, so.
No, Michael is easy enough for me. That
You
is
feel
my
like
name.
lean.
Yeah, go ahead and like lean low.
So, anyways,
You got to lean in.
there was an African American
go.
guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he was grabbing women inappropriately, doing things inappropriately. He actually came up to my wife and started to do something very inappropriate, and I had to step in and say, "Hey, this ain't cool. You need to back off." I said, "Or you're going to face some bad repercussions. This is not the way you do it." I said, "When she tells you no, it means no, and if you can't understand it, I'm going to have to show you what no means." It's plain and simple. You don't force yourself upon another person's wife or girlfriend or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, so was he groping? Was
He
he?
was trying to do more than that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He was trying to give her some oral right there, and I'm like,
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, this is inappropriate. I was like, you just don't get down on the floor where we're sitting in the middle of a certain place and try to do this.
Yeah.
I had to basically snatch him up off the ground and say, hey, this is inappropriate. And I was like,
There was no invitation for him to do that. Absolutely not.
yeah,
It's not an open, you know.
So wait. So this is
Thanks.
a public, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This was. Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, and so anyways, the guy
Weird.
kind of got out of hand. I went to the owner of the place. I said, hey, this guy is doing inappropriate things, and several other people's complained about him. And I basically told the owner of the place, I said, either boot him or I said, I'm going to boot him the hard way. He might not find the door the right way. He might go through the door.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't put up with people just doing exactly what they feel without permission. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to do something, ask. And if it's no, it's no. But if we say it's fine, then it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But just don't go assuming it's okay just because you're in a swingers place. It doesn't mean it's fine and dandy.
It's not a free for all for fuck.
Yeah. It's not a go here and it's a great big orgy. No, it's not like that. Most of us there are all friends,
Uh-huh.
and we consider some of them family, but not in that sense.
Yeah.
But good close.
Alabama.
Yeah. West Virginia.
Georgia.
Yeah, exactly.
Kentucky.
Something like that. But they're really good friends of ours, and we don't put up with outsiders coming in just thinking they can push their way upon us just because we live a certain lifestyle or do a certain way at certain times. It's not like that.
Was this like an older man or a
He
younger man?
was an older gentleman.
He
He's
wasn't older. He was probably middle aged.
about 45, 50, somewhere in
Oh,
that area.
okay. Yeah, okay. He's
Yeah,
the pervert, basically.
But yeah, he should have known better.
Middle
After-
aged like you.
he should have known after about the first 4 or 5 girls told him to bounce. And then he got to my wife, and I was like, this ain't happening.
Wow.
It's not an
I got
all-you-can-eat
to like
buffet.
5 girls
Right.
first.
Yeah, so after I got done with him, and I talked to the owner because I was kind of perturbed, and I was going to really bounce this guy in his head. The owner said, "Hey, you got to go," and they made him leave.
Yeah.
Now, the owners of said bar are also swingers. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the same bar we met
Yes.
at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
They're also
Well,
swingers.
I asked the bartender first while I was sitting there like figuring out because when I walked in, I was like, wait a minute, am I in the right place? And I asked the bartender like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but I'm here looking for people to interview on swingers. Am I at the right bar? So like, this is not a swingers bar, but this is partners meeting night or something like that.
Yeah.
swingers night.
Swingers
Swingers night.
Basically, it's a meet and greet.
Meet
Yep.
and greet.
It's a meet and greet.
Meet and greet. And then, and another thing we don't tolerate is, bad talking others.
Right.
There
None
was
of that.
there was a gentleman that, my roommate, he was swinging with us. He was my live-in boyfriend, and he was getting a lot of girls because he's a nice-looking young man. And this guy got jealous and started making rumors about him having, an STD, and you don't do that. You don't spread rumors so that you can get your game on, and then you're ruining this person's reputation. And so we all just kind of shunned him. We stopped talking to him. Whenever he came to talk to us, we would just kind of ignore him, and he stopped coming to the bar because he felt uncomfortable.
As he should.
Yeah.
So basically, like your guy, because a lot of people like looking from outside in, they're like, oh, you guys are a bunch of, the stereotypes, like, oh, you guys are a bunch of cheaters, this is kind of nasty, but it
Sex
seems like,
deviants.
yes, it's deviants or something like that. Well, it seems like you guys are above everything else. It's like more honesty, like But it's kind of like
absolutely.
within the
all
group.
about honesty. If you don't have honesty,
It's not going to work.
then it's not going to work because because you have to be comfortable that this person's not going to leave you for the next person. You have to have a very open communication. In fact, it builds relationships even stronger. Like I said, my husband, he tried to cheat, and I didn't want to lose him, so I approached him and corrupted him, I guess. But it's made our relationship stronger because there is no secrets.
So, would you guys say swinging made your current relationships a lot better, or
Yeah.
how so?
I would.
Because, like I said, there's no secrets. You have to have a very open, communication with each other at all times.
I don't necessarily think it made mine better. It just made mine more fun, more interesting.
You say like enhanced it basically.
It enhanced
It
the
does
relationship.
enhance, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it made it better. I think that we have a really great relationship anyway.
But when you have that open communication, you get to explain, something's bothering me. Instead of bottling it all up, you can, you have that openness with your spouse, and you can talk to them, and then you get the enhancement of, not getting bored with the same, dick or the same pussy,
For an example that made us stronger is I had surgery last year, probably around this time, and I was incapacitated. I couldn't do.
Can I
anything.
ask what surgery, or do you
Huh?
want? Can I ask what surgery? Or?
Oh, it was nasal surgery.
Oh, okay.
Sinus
Okay.
surgery. They went in there, broke bones in my face, drilled, and did all sorts of stuff. So I was kind of laid out, really drugged up, really out of it. Didn't want to get off the couch. I just felt bad. I couldn't bend forward. I couldn't lean back. I kind of had to stay in a certain position.
Yeah.
And I was in a lot of pain at the time. And of course, my wife, she's like, I want to have some fun. I was like, well, not with me. I said, I'm kind of incapacitated. I can't do anything. I said, they got me on so many pain medications and antibiotics, it just ain't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she goes, well, do you mind if I call one of my friends, that we know that, can come over here and me and him can play? I was like, well, that's fine. I said, I'm incapacitated, so sure, no big deal. Have at it, have fun. Her friend came over. I knew the guys, and I said, all right, y'all go have fun. I sat out here, and I pretty much passed out, because it's not much else I could do.
Shit.
And it's better than sneaking off and doing it because he knew about it.
Yeah. Instead of her just saying, hey, Michael, hey, I'm going out for a little while, and go out there and does her own little thing, and come back, and I'm like, what's that certain glow about you?
What's that certain glow?
Oh, why are you walking all bow-legged?
What's that smell?
Yeah, exactly. Because it won't take a rocket scientist to figure it out.
So, well, before you go back to your seat, have you guys been in like monogamous relationships before?
I have.
Yes.
So, what's the longest you gone monogamous, or just single partner?
I'm probably the longest. I was married for over 20 years to my previous ex.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was monogamous. He was not.
Oh,
Yeah, she was monogamous to herself because he wouldn't do anything.
Oh my god.
He'd rather do the Five Rosy Shuffle than pleasure his wife.
He had a porn addiction.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I guess the longest relationship, like continuous relationship, would probably be about 2 years. I did have a boyfriend that, from the day we were babies, like I used to make this boy eat dirt, and we dated off and on, from middle school to high school, and we were monogamous, together. But unfortunately, he passed away. But I guess if you would ball up all that would probably be more than 10 years. But we were off and on all the time.
Well, I want, before you walk off, I want to get your take on being the longest you've been monogamous.
I'd probably say about 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it before you were swinging, or during you took a break from swinging, or was it before you actually went to swinging?
It was before I went to swinging.
Okay. Then what was that, when you're 18 or something?
No.
It's like, wait,
No,
2 years?
no,
It's 2
no.
years.
No, it was probably about just probably sometime before I met, Kat and whatever you want to call it. Chelsea.
Whatever my name is.
Yeah, whatever her name is.
What
for the
alias
day.
we're using, and we forgot to use.
I'm the mysterious person.
Yeah, the mysterious person. There we go.
I can put on different wigs and be different people. So.
Yeah, it was the previous girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before I met Chelsea and her husband.
Well, what was the deciding factor? Like you.
I was single and I had, you know, a lot of the women I met back in those days were just not worth the time. So I figured, well, let me try this out, you know, see if I can be, because I heard they
You were single and horny.
What normal American guy isn't? Can you name me a guy that's not?
And then we met him.
Any healthy male.
Yeah.
Any healthy male is going to be, even unhealthy ones.
And
Yes.
then we met him. I don't even know how we met. Like what?
I don't
I don't know
remember.
if it was either Craigslist or if it was on FetLife.
Probably. I think it was FetLife.
I think it was FetLife.
But regardless, you know, I met up with them and actually we became friends, you know. I mean, it took a little bit of time, but we became friends and, you know, and so.
You know, we've been friends for about 10 years. So.
Right.
Wow.
And then, of course, a few years back, Kat came into my life, and well, we I was monogamous for a while, but then she, of course, had her questions because she knew I was in the swinging lifestyle before,
Mm-hmm.
and like she was saying, we had several different conversations about this.
And I'm not sure if I asked this question before, but how long was that time span? Was it?
Before we started swinging?
Yeah, like when you first had that conversation and the several conversations after that. Then when you actually did.
I think it was
About 6 months into our relationship,
no, it was longer than that. I think.
maybe.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was close to a year.
It was close to it. Yeah, it
Okay.
was close to a year. Yeah.
And I was shocked because he called us up and he's like, hey, I would like to, you know, have a barbecue and I want you to meet this girl that I'm dating. I really like her. And I met her and she was so sweet and mousy and and he's like, what do you think of her? And I was like, she's a wonderful person. She's so sweet. And then, you know, several months later he goes, she wants to know about the swinging life. And I'm like, what? Like I would have never
Yeah.
thought that from her.
Yeah.
But heck yeah.
Yeah. So we corrupted each other.
So how should I put this? What type of parties or events do you guys normally do as swingers?
There are parties that we go to. They're, you know, I'm not going to mention because they're invite only.
Yeah, but
but-
can you give us some of the details of them?
There's different people that host parties at their home.
Uh-huh.
And these parties, you pay to get into them most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which keeps the riffraffs out.
It
Yeah.
does.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So is this a cover charge? And this not initiative, a preventive measure, basically.
It
Yeah.
is. It is just a preventive measure. It also limits the single men out of there because single men is very expensive for a single man to get in there
Mhm.
because they want to limit the single men because, like you said, most single American men are little horn dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're humping on every leg, and they want to limit that down to a very few, to a minimum.
Yeah. So what's the typical charge?
Like it could
It depends on where you go.
Depends. Okay.
So the last one I went to, it was I think it was like $30 for
$35 a couple.
or $35 for a couple,
Uh-huh.
and then $60 for a single male.
Makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And it's cheaper for single females because
But-
single females are harder to find.
Yeah. Huh.
But if a single male comes with a couple, then they get a discount.
Yeah.
Because they're there with a couple.
Okay. So what happens at these parties?
It's a lot of people getting together, having a good time, and the night ends up for some people having sex.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
really what it
okay.
is.
Some don't.
Some don't.
Just go and chat and sometimes there's games and
Yeah.
food
Different
and
themes.
there's
Different.
different themes.
So basically, it's kind of like just a big party, but
It's a big party.
plus, if you want to swap, you swap. You want sex, you have sex, but
Yeah.
it's not forced upon, basically.
No.
No.
Oh, no, definitely
no.
not.
Yeah, if you go there, if anybody goes there, don't go there expecting.
Yeah.
If you go there expecting, you can leave there very disappointed. Because there's a lot of times you go in there and nothing's going to happen. A lot of it's just meet, greet, talk, make friends. But if something does happen, that's fine. But if you're going there expecting something, if something doesn't happen, the only person you're going to get mad is yourself.
Yeah. And they have usually, depending on which party, they have different rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Some rooms, you can, it's open.
Yeah.
So that, anybody can walk in and watch. And
There's voyeuristic rooms.
Yeah, or they can
shit.
ask to join in too. And then there's rooms where you can shut the door, just you and that other couple, or if you're just a female and two other guys, But if you don't want to be watched, you can shut the door. But like I said, there is rooms that stay open. People can come in, they can watch, they can ask to join if you want, and if you're okay with them joining, they can join.
Huh. Is the pairing up, is that typically... What's my mic a little off? Anyway. Okay. Sorry, I thought my mic was off. Is the pairing usually just heterosexual, or is it girl, guy?
It all varies. It all varies. There's
varies
some girls
what people
that are not.
into.
Yeah. Some girls are straight.
Mm-hmm.
Some girls are bi. So it varies. Same with the men. Some men are straight. Some men are bi.
Okay.
And then same with the fetishes. Some are into different fetishes as others. And
so, like, when I think about these parties, and I think I'm kind of speaking on anyone in the audience who's never really, understand this type of lifestyle, I'm thinking orgies too. No
not
orgies.
really.
not all the time.
And the voyeuristic rooms, you can find that, but
Yeah.
But it's not all the time.
No.
Not all the time.
What
no.
kind-
And there's, like she said, there's private rooms. And and it depends on my mood. Sometimes I want a private room. Sometimes I'll go into the voyeuristic room. It just really depends.
Really? Wow. What type of fetishes are... What would you say is the typical fetishes going on at these parties?
Oh, it varies. There's fetishes all over.
Oh yeah, there's people with the foot fetish, BDSM.
Spanking.
Yep, BDSM, spanking.
I don't think spanking is a fetish, though. I think it's...
Oh, it is.
Is
It
it?
is a total fetish.
It is.
It's a
Well,
big
like,
fetish.
well,
You left too early because she got paddled hard.
My ass is still sore.
I always thought, like, spanking was kind of like something kind of like vanilla-ish, like on a sex spectrum.
Okay, that's because you're vanilla. And you don't understand this.
Yeah.
But true
Bomb chocolate.
spanking,
Bomb chocolate.
but true spanking is definitely a fetish. It's just like rope play is a fetish and furry is a fetish,
Mm-hmm.
and there's all different fetishes. And some women just like to have the shit beat out of them, and
Yeah,
I'm one
no
of those
shit.
women.
A lot of people when they think of spanking.
Not, I mean,
Not-
you don't mean like
I
a
like
punch and shit.
spanking.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, there are some women. Yeah, there are
Give it
some
the
women
shit.
that like being punched.
Ugh.
Oh yeah,
Really?
and
I'm not that.
No.
I like my spanking.
You just like getting spanked.
but a lot of people when they think of spankings, they think of bare hand. She gets spanked with almost like a sorority wooden
Yeah, the paddle.
board, like
The paddles.
I have a friend. She likes caning, and she will literally. They will cane her till she's bleeding.
Shit.
And she'll be like, keep going. She loves it so much. And her ass is bleeding. And she loves it. And your arm's going to wear out before her ass wears out.
And I like different forms of paddles. There's all different types of paddles.
Not riding crops.
And riding crops. I like riding crops too.
Yeah, I was surprised when you told me Friday night about the riding crop. Like, oh yeah, I forgot that could be used for sex.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's whips. And then of course
Yeah.
there's bondage.
Yeah. I like bondage too.
I like bondage. I
And
like
you know,
foreplay.
there's dom and subs.
Yeah.
So, and I am mostly a sub. I'm very much.
When
a
I went
sub.
to Burning Man last year, I went to, like I was telling you guys Friday, when I went to Burning Man, I went to one of those tents. It was actually really elaborate how they set up. It was really nice. Really friendly people. And the guy told me something that was actually really surprising. He said, like, you would think, what's the opposite of the sub?
Dom.
Dom. You would think the dominator or the dom is a...
Dominant personality.
Yeah, the dominant personality is the one that's in control. It's like, no, it's the sub. Because they control the dom by, like, how much they could take.
Yeah.
So really the sub is the one that's in control.
There's safe words. When you've had enough, you say your safe word.
No, but a lot of these, well, he's telling me like a lot of these subs can take a lot, and that's
Oh yeah.
gets the dominant more challenged.
Mm-hmm.
So that he said because of that, the sub isn't really in control
What
of
you
the
gotta know
situation.
is the limitations.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the
Everybody
limit-
has different rules in their relationship too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we were talking about rules earlier, you were asking about different rules in the lifestyle and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Couples have rules, you know, and it's not everybody has the same rules. You know, the rules for me and Michael are different than the rules for, you know, Chelsey and her husband.
Yeah.
So, you know, whenever you're getting into a situation where you are going to swap, then the other person needs to know, or the other couple, or whoever else is there needs to know what your rules are. And, you know, I have flat out ground rules that I don't cross.
What were those? What would be those rules?
I don't do anal,
Okay.
ever.
Well, I don't do that either.
I'll do that.
I don't feel like putting my penis into a place where feces come out. It's just dirty and nasty.
Nah, I heard people like. I was talking to this one guy. He said like he eats ass. I'm like, how could you eat ass? That
It's
sounds
called
nasty.
tossing salad.
Yeah, my husband eats ass.
I don't know. I can't do. I like doing cunnilingus because I get like a little power play out of that. But like I can never see myself like going down between the
after
asshole.
shower.
I need a shower. You can douche it and shower all you want. I'm like, I'm not going. My tongue is not going nowhere near where the shit's coming out. But like,
Yeah, my sentiments exactly.
yeah. It's just,
And for me, it's an anatomy thing. I just can't do it.
what, you just don't like the idea of something going up your ass?
No,
or-
she can't.
I can't.
Oh, you can't.
It's physically impossible for me.
Okay. You don't.
You
You don't want,
couldn't fit a greased BB up there.
oh, okay. Now I get it. All right.
Yeah.
So
I had a colonoscopy and the doctor commented on how small my asshole was. That tells you it just physically cannot happen.
probably a good thing though.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I-
I'm not into it
Well,
anyway.
And I don't
good thing
like
or bad
it.
thing, it doesn't matter. I'm still not going.
Yeah.
I don't like anal, but occasionally, when I'm drunk enough, it happens. But
What the fuck?
it depends on how drunk.
So what other no-nos do you have? Like personal no-nos?
Like with me, you know, I've met a couple guys, and they like me to talk shit about my husband. They'll be like, "Oh, your husband must have a small dick." I don't do this. No, I'm not going to sit there and one, lie about my husband's anatomy,
Mhm.
and two, I respect him, so I'm not going to sit there just so you can have a power trip. I'm not going to sit there and insult my husband. Now, there is a fetish for that one too. Some women, you know,
Is that the cuckold fetish?
yeah, the cuckold.
Yeah.
You know, where the husband watches and the bull, you know, will fuck his wife and insult the husband. I'm not into that. I don't want, and I'm not going to insult my husband, and I'm not going to have another man insult my husband.
Yeah. See, I feel like that's kind of like a really weird fetish. Like going cuckolding, like that's like you guys are swapping
It's
already.
weird to you,
What?
but it's not weird to
somebody else.
Well, like it kind of sounds weird, like what you guys are kind of explaining to me so far, because everything seems kind of like very egalitarian within that community. Like everybody's respectful of each other.
Yeah.
Everyone's really polite with each other, and nice with each other. But
And there
then-
are some swingers that do like cuckolding. Like me personally, I don't, because I don't want to hear somebody insulting my husband.
Okay. You look like about to say something.
Say something.
Say something. Say
I lost
something.
my train of thought there.
Okay, we'll come back. Try to remember it. Any funny experiences? Like, do you have any like hilarious stories?
Oh yeah, I got one. Me and my wife met a couple, and we were interested, so we went
I'll
over.
just get a little bit
We went
closer.
over to their house to play. So, anyways, and not try to belittle the guy, but I seen kitty cats with bigger penises than he did.
I told him I was not taking another one for the team.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I've had a couple of those experiences too.
I mean, he pulled his penis. I mean, his penis rock hard was maybe 1.5 inches. I swear to God. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there thinking, what in the hell are you gonna do with that?
My wife is not going to enjoy
But-
that.
No, well, she didn't because half the time you couldn't even get it up, and so it was like a little flaccid thing. And I'm like, but it's But on the other hand, the women did enjoy me.
Well, of course they enjoyed you.
I know he's got a big dick.
Well, that's besides the point. Anything's bigger than a mosquito. I mean, he was like a little needle dick bug fucker.
Oh.
But I really did take one for the team that
That was,
time.
that was really loud when you yelled at. I was like, holy crap, that was loud. I really took it.
She
And
was emphasizing that.
Yeah, and I've had experiences like that where we met a couple and my husband's like, "Oh, she's hot. I want to, fuck her so bad," and I'm like, "I'm not too into her husband, but I'll take it for the team." And
Oh my god! So you guys are each other's wingmen.
sometimes we are, yes. And she went to my house, and I went to her house because we were doing different. I mean, we were different house swapping at that point. And after he finished, I called my husband up, and I'm like, "You better fuck me good, because that was pathetic. It was bad."
And like the one I was talking with my wife just about. Now it's like, take one for a team. I was like, well, hell, I didn't know how big his penis was. It's not like I'm looking down his drawers to inspect to make sure.
Take one for the team.
You're going to be able to pleasure her. It's like, I don't go in there and inspecting the penises. I can't judge how big a man's penis is when he has all his clothes on. And I'm not going to go up. Hey,
Neither can we, but we sure do wish we could, don't we?
yeah. And I'm not going to be rude. Hey, man, you at least got to have this many inches before we can play with you.
Before you can ride, you gotta be this long to ride.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we just walked around.
Yeah.
All right. But let me just say, there's nothing wrong with certain guys having smaller penises. It happens.
That's true. I mean,
It happens.
It's something they can't control. It's not like you can work that out.
No, he can't.
It's okay if
And-
they have a small penis as long as their oral game is on point.
Right.
They can compensate, basically.
But
Yeah.
when they can't do either or,
Then you're just a dead fish.
yeah. And I don't even know I don't even know how the hell he got married.
I don't know.
I had a fraternity brother. We were doing. It was my pledge class, and we were doing the last weekend before we become brothers. And him and this other guy came down. We were at this camping spot in the middle of nowhere. They came down naked. Like, what the hell's going on? And all of us couldn't stop laughing because one guy had a third testicle, and the other guy was this fat piece of shit. He had like a little baby dick.
I wouldn't.
Oh, he had an extra belly
I
button.
would love to see a
Baby
third
dick.
testicle.
And it was just, well,
I would like to see
I
that.
would love to see a third testicle.
well,
I
yeah,
haven't
he had
seen
the
that.
but it was funny. Like, he had a third testicle and baby dick. Then his girlfriend, when the fat guy, the baby dick one, when his girlfriend actually broke up with him, we were talking to her. It's like, sex was just horrible. She's like, giving him a blowjob was just with tweezers was just sucks. Like, she pretending she had tweezers. Like, yeah, just like a little baby dick.
Basically, he had an extra belly button.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Or a little tumor.
I do know with certain couples that it is a prerequisite for the husband to meet the male first,
Yeah.
especially if it's a single male, and check his gear out, make sure he is.
Well, I'm not going to go check another man's gear out.
Yeah, my husband's never checked another man's
I've been
gear out.
asked that.
Oh,
Like,
here's
I'm
a-
not gonna meet
You
that.
should be proud to show yours.
Well, thank you.
Should I be proud to show mine?
Yep.
Are you
Well,
sure?
Oh, yeah.
well, I got a question.
Chelsey, would you concur with that?
I would concur with that.
Okay.
So, here's a good question. Does jealousy ever happen during these,
It can.
okay? How do you guys deal with that?
Talking through it a lot.
You know,
Talk it out.
that's the
Be
whole-
open,
whole thing
honest.
Back to the open, honest.
Mhm.
Just this open and on. Well, like, what will make you guys jealous? What will bring you to that point?
Do you want to go?
Yeah. Like with me is if he was making plans without telling me, that would make me jealous.
Mhm.
He one time gave a girl an amount of money and didn't tell me about it.
Okay.
That made me very jealous, very upset. And I discussed with him how I felt about it, and he was very apologetic, and he's like, I promise I won't do it again, and it hasn't happened again because he knows that that's a line I don't like to cross. And if I don't think he's ever had to really discuss with me things that he disapproves of me doing, but if I was doing something he disapproved of, he would tell me.
Okay. Well, it's like really healthy. Like I said, like look from the outside in, like you guys are doing something that's risque when it comes to like society wise, but seems like it's really healthy the way you guys are handling the way you guys do it.
It is, because like I said, you have to have a lot of communication.
Yeah, it's an open line of communication. You got to be able to talk. You got to have an open line of communication. You have to be able to talk everything out. If you don't have the communication and you can't talk to each other, well, then there's really, you don't have anything. Like with me and my wife, if I do something she doesn't like, she tells me, I was like, okay, I understand, and I improve and go on. Or vice versa. If she does something I disapprove, I tell her. It might not be right that second, I tell her. I might let it, linger for about a day or so.
Let's get a little closer to the mic, yeah.
But I'll let it linger for about a day or so and not say anything, and then a day or so later I'll say, hey, you remember this? And she'll be like, yeah. I said, well, that, kind of disturbed me. I didn't like it. Try not to do that again. And we talk about it, and then we work it out, and everything's good to go. And then the subject's dropped. I don't bring it up again. I leave it alone.
Wow. Like, I think like monogamous couples, like married couples, they like probably listen to this, just for the communication part.
Yep.
See, because I don't know. It's like I feel like a lot of divorces happen because either sexually or mainly communication. But it seems like you guys
A lot of divorces is lack of communication.
Yeah, lack of communication.
Yes, most of it is because they do not communicate with each other. They don't talk about other people's feelings, how they feel about each other, or how they feel about certain things. That's one of the main reasons for divorce. They don't talk to each other. They get married, and it's okay for the first 6 months and the honeymoon phase, as I would call it. But after the honeymoon phase, they get up, they go to work, they come home, they do their own little thing. They get
start
up,
getting the itch.
Yeah, and then they don't talk to each other. They don't communicate. It's like they're in their own little world, and then it just becomes a financial situation for them. Then they're married for the finances with no communication, and it doesn't work out because they don't talk, they don't communicate. If you communicate and you talk, everything works out. It's like with me and my wife. I don't yell at my wife. I never have.
Do you guys ever fight? Or you guys argue?
We have discussions.
We have discussions.
But it doesn't go beyond that, though.
No, it doesn't go beyond that. If like I said, we talk it out. I'm not going to sit there and yell at her, and she's not going to sit here and yell at me. Either way, because if we're yelling at each other, we're never going to accomplish anything. She's going to try to yell over me, and then I'm going to try to yell over her.
Nobody's listening, and nothing gets resolved.
Right. But if we and her talk and have just a healthy discussion, she says her grievances, I say my part, or vice versa, and then we come to a mutual agreement, we're fine. And then nothing's more said about it because we talked it out, we worked it out without the yelling and the bitching and everything else like that. It doesn't need to happen. If you can have a rational discussion,
Go ahead.
if you can have a rational discussion, you can work it out.
Wait, what happened? There was a little side panel there.
Yeah, I want to know what the side panel was.
I just think it's really funny that my husband was not sure about this whole podcast thing, and now he's taking over.
Yeah, I gotta get him to sign the press release form too.
Yeah, I don't know about a strange man in my house. I'm gonna sit there with my gun in my lap.
Actually, me and Carol had a discussion about this the other night. And and she goes, "Oh, by the way, he's coming to our house." I'm like, oh, "Wait a minute, he's coming to? What do you mean he's coming to my house, or our house?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, we invite." I was like, "Well, when were you going to tell me?"
The communication.
I was going to tell him right then.
Yeah.
The communication part.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. She failed to tell me until yesterday. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean he's coming to my? So you're inviting someone over to my?
You told him that at the bar.
I did tell him
because
that
he was talking about having his gun in his pocket.
I know.
I remember that.
Yeah, she told me that night. Yeah.
So she did communicate it.
She told me after the fact. She didn't ask me first. Hey, is it okay? Mm-hmm. She just tells me, hey, this is happening. And I'm like, well, when were you going to ask me? I was like, do you know? No. I said, does Chelsea know? No. I said, does anybody know him? No. I'm like, okay, so you're inviting somebody over to our house.
Some random stranger with some microphones.
That we do not know. She's like, yeah. I'm like, You know they make horror movies out of things like this, right?
You have enough guns in the house to be safe, though.
Yeah, so you have the old musket one, the flintlock one.
That's a muzzle loader.
Muzzle loader. There we go.
That's a 50 caliber muzzle loader. Then there's a shotgun, and then I also have my 40 caliber.
We knew you would keep us
Like
safe.
And a rifle.
It's like I have a Marlin 3030. I love that thing. I love the old liver action shit.
I don't know. I like my 7mm 08.
Oh, ooh.
It's a good hunting rifle.
All right. Go back to Cat really fast because you were married for a long time before. Like, how would you compare your marriage now than to the previous marriage?
There's no comparison.
Night and day.
Well, how bad was the previous marriage?
It was very bad. I told you I'm a sub.
Yeah.
And my ex-husband was not in a fetish type of way, but he was very dominant and he was very abusive to me verbally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when I first met Michael, he really had to work on bringing me out of my shell because I was he put a lot of work into
anxiety.
Yeah, I had a lot of issues.
Obviously, like if you get abused like that.
Yeah, he was really good at gaslighting.
Let's clarify gaslighting with
Before we do that, I finally met this guy
Oh God!
about a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. We had to go to the bank to sign a form, and he comes to shake my hand. He shook my hand like a little fairy princess.
Like a limp.
Yeah, he had like this little limp wrist. I'm like, no wonder you divorced him. I was like, he acts like a girl. Hi.
Oh my God.
I'm like, dude, shake hands like a man. I was like, he had this little limp wrist handshake. And I'm like,
it's so awkward when you feel that. Like,
I thought I was gonna crush his hand because when I grabbed it, I shake hands like a man.
Was it cold and clammy too?
I didn't really try to take
I was terrified.
It will make it worse. Like, oh.
Well, I did have to get some hand sanitizer afterwards, kind of wash my hands, because he might have been doing the Rosie Shuffle.
He really was terrified of Michael. He really was, because he's really good at gaslighting. You had a question about gaslighting?
Yeah, let's clarify that.
What is gaslighting?
Yeah.
It's berating and making somebody feel like everything is all their fault when it's not.
See,
It's a very narcissistic personality trait.
I thought gaslighting was when
You farted?
not farting. No, like
Throwing people off a train?
no, like when you're conspiring against somebody and you make them believe like
Something's all their fault.
so yeah. But you actually use like get other people involved. So,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, very much a narcissist.
Tendency.
Yeah.
damn. Like, can you give us an example? One thing he did?
God, there's so many. Not really. I can't.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it's part of my life that's in my past. I try
Okay.
to stay away from it.
And when my husband first met me, I was a very broken human being, too.
What happened with you?
Just my husband was, again, he was very verbally abusive, but there was times where we were physically abusive, too.
Wow.
So when he first met me, if he put his hand behind my back to do like this, like I would jump. Like it just made me very nervous. I didn't like men touching me, and so it took him a while for me to be comfortable with, I'm not going to be hurt again.
Damn. Well, it seems like you guys kind of like entered like paradise relationships basically after
Very
going
much so.
Yeah, and then I was talking to a friend about swinging, and she was like, oh my God. She's like, I don't know how people could do that. She's like, that ruins relationships. And, obviously she was one of the very closed-minded people, so I couldn't go into this discussion with her. And of course, she doesn't know that we swing. But it doesn't ruin relationships. The only reason why it ruins relationships is if you're not being open and you're not being honest and you're not keeping that communication up. And if you're a very jealous person, it's not going to work out.
Okay. We'll go back to kind of like the fun side of it now. So what fetishes, because I know you talked about BDSM and spanking, so what other stuff are you guys into? I know we were talking about furries the other day.
I am a furry, but not in the sexual sense, though. Like, I dress up to just be somebody I'm not, because I'm very controlling in the sense that I take care of my family, and and I also do medical with other people, and so things have to be on a schedule, so it's very relaxing to be somebody I'm not. And so I like to dress up, and sometimes they're furry costumes, sometimes they're costumes of characters on TV, cosplay.
Yeah.
But that's
I like cosplay.
Yeah, but that's not really like a fetish. One of my biggest fetishes that I really like is rope play. And I enjoy being tied up, and I really love being suspended while I'm being tied up.
I love my hair pulled.
You do like your hair pulled.
I love my hair pulled.
And your spankings.
And
my
her spankings.
Well, like whenever you say that, like I still think that's like I don't find that's like a fetish being like your hair pulled and spanked. Like I always thought like
it
that's
is
kind
when
of like
she gets wet from it though.
it's still spicy, it's spicy, but
It's definitely done in a sexual way. It's not just spanking. It's spanking in a sexual way and hair pulling in a sexual way.
okay.
So, like, if somebody's behind me and grabs my hair and twists and pulls, that's going to make
you got to do it the right way, because if you don't pull the hair the right way, it hurts.
Right. I had to teach him how to pull hair.
No, you didn't.
He says I didn't, but
No, you didn't.
And, like, I enjoy choking, too. I really enjoy choking, to the point of almost being unconscious.
Like, so you like getting choked or you like choking?
I like getting choked. And my husband has not yet perfected the choking. He's working on it.
See, I'm afraid to actually do that one. That scares me, actually choking a woman.
It's super simple. You want lack of blood, not lack of oxygen. Do not push on the larynx, because you're going to break your hind end bone, and you will suffocate to death. You will die from it if you break that bone, and it's like this big, and it's very fragile. You want to find your carotid artery, you push on both of them, you push in, and you lift up, and that's lack of blood flow to the brain. And you hold that, and the second the person goes limp, like with me, I hold my hand up, and the second my hand goes down, you let go. I'm out for 3 seconds, and then I'm back to normal.
Yeah. Well, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we get, you get choked out all the time, and like I don't know, I can't see myself doing that like sexually. Like it's hard doing it like as a workout and as a sport.
It's more of a female thing.
Yes, I guess so, because like when I get choked out, like
I don't
okay,
think I've met a man that
likes to be
likes
choked.
being choked.
yeah.
But I like being choked. So
that's
I don't
interesting.
like doing either or.
See, well, like for me, it freaks me out. Like if I were to choke a woman, I'm like, what happens if this goes too far?
Or something goes horribly
Or
wrong.
if something
yeah.
goes.
Again, you have to really know what you're doing. I was doing a rope session, and I was suspended. My toes were touching the ground, but barely, and the rope slid on my carotid artery, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling very warm, and I'm starting to get that tunnel sound in my ears, and at the time my dom's like, "Do you want to get down?" I was like, "Yeah, I think it's about time for me to get down." And right when he was about to take me down, I went out. And they got me to the ground, and I woke up like 3 seconds. It felt like I was asleep for probably 3-4 hours. Because when I woke up, I felt so energized and revived. And I woke up, and I was like, that's not my fridge. Because I saw the fridge, and they had a chrome fridge. And my fridge is white. And so, like, I woke up kind of confused because I wasn't expecting to go out. But I felt very energized afterwards. I really liked it. So I told my dom I would love to do it again. And he's actually choked me out at the bar. Because he's tried to show my husband how to properly do it. And he's really good. I mean, he can make me go out in just a few seconds flat.
Damn. That's really hardcore shit. That's really hardcore. So what fetishes though? Like you said, choking, the cosplay, which
it's not really a fetish. That's more of a fun thing.
I like whenever I get a chance, if I go to a cosplay thing, like I have a whole Ghostbuster costume with actual backpack that lights up, so I get excited about that.
Let me guess, you've been to Dragon Con?
No.
How about Comic-Con?
I want to go
to one in Vegas.
No, I want to go to one, the original one, the San Diego one.
Oh yeah.
San Diego's nice, but the Vegas one's better.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta has a good one.
That's Dragon Con.
Where's that one at?
In Atlanta.
Hey, that's actually not far.
It's not far.
No.
Yeah, it's a lot of cosplay. It's also a gaming convention.
Yeah, I like.
I like more the comic side and the movie side of it.
Yeah, you would enjoy Dragon Con.
That's right. Dragon Con. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, I'm nerdy as hell.
Yeah, me too.
What costumes have you worn? Because you said that you did characters on TV and.
Well, I did one
Barney?
of my. No, not Barney.
She has purple hair. That's why.
Yeah. One of I've done the Walking Dead characters. I really enjoy that. One of my favorite comic books is Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
I've never heard of that one.
I ain't heard of that either.
That's one of my favorite comics, and I've dressed up like Johnny and Zim, the Vader Zim. I like Vader Zim.
They're making, because they had all the commercials come out this past weekend because of the Comic Con that happened, and there was a commercial for Invader Zim, like a new movie basically.
Yeah, I like Invader Zim. I've done characters like that, and then I do original characters because I am an artist, and so I make my own characters and I go. But some of the Comic Cons they don't really care for original characters. Some do, but I like my original characters.
Well, that's going to be another episode because I'm trying to actually find like a Comic Con, someone who's actually deep into that stuff.
My husband is a stormtrooper.
I remember talking to a guy in Savannah who he owns a business that just does special costumes, like Comic Con costumes or movie costumes. And he said like anything that involves Star Wars or
Stormtroopers
or
are the most popular.
They said like it has to be that George Lucas has like a big really strict about the costumes. Like it has to be in
that's
detail.
the 501st League. The 501st League is they have to be movie ready. See, that's my husband and I.
Oh, look how cool that is. That's so freaking cool. Yeah, it's like a really authentic like Stormtrooper costume.
It's not quite 501st ready, but it's almost. He needs different shoes and a bigger gun.
I don't know. I get excited when I see those costumes, like authentic costumes.
Yeah.
Here's your Woody, huh?
Little nerd Woody.
And then I did my fawn costume. I loved my fawn costume. I went out to Middleburg and told all.
The men are men, the sheep are scared.
No, I went out to Middleburg and they'd be like, "What are you?" And I'm like, "I am a whitetail and it is open season." And I would shake my butt and.
Well, that's probably not a good idea to go out in Middleburg dressed as a deer.
I was at a club. It wasn't out in the
It's
woods.
still not a good idea. There's hunters out there.
I didn't know there was clubs in Middleburg.
It shut
They
down,
do.
which
The
I'm.
Sheep Shack.
The sheep.
No, they shut down.
That's what my first girlfriend said.
we all live in Florida, and Middleburg is a middle of nowhere, little country town.
I don't know. I've been meeting a lot of people from Green Cove, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, what kind of backwards place did you come out of?
Middleburg.
Middleburg.
No, they were in Green Cove though. Like, they were straight up like, oh my god! Like, I'll have to tell you about them later.
Okay,
like,
later.
oh my god, that's a bunch of just craziness.
So how open are you guys about this? Like, does your family know, kids
No.
know, or it's just like this is between you and your husbands and
Very discreet community.
Very discreet community.
Now-
That's right.
I'm adopted, so my adopted side of my family, no clue whatsoever. My birth side, on my mom's side, I haven't met my dad yet, but my birth mother, my sisters don't know, but my mom knew.
how did she find out?
She was a swinger.
She did it too.
When I first met her and I moved in with her because I was pregnant and homeless, you know, I knew what swinging was, but I didn't know that they were into it. But as I'm like watching the dynamics of the family, and
Mom, let's go
she
to a
disappeared.
swingers party.
She went to Texas to go visit a Texas friend for like 3 months, and I was like, yeah, you know what she's doing. She is fucking the hell out of that redneck because he was.
What the fuck?
Wait a minute. In Texas, there's only two things in Texas: steers and queers.
Stop it.
But and then
Full Metal
and then,
Jacket, there we go.
and then
She got no filter on him.
No, he has no filter.
He has no filter.
There's no filter from here to there.
Do I need a filter?
Sometimes.
Negative there.
And then my mom's husband, which would be like my stepdad on my birth mother's side. I have a really weird family tree. But, he would take off and have sex with women, and she totally knew about it. And I asked her, one day, I was like, are you guys, like, swingers? And she's like, yeah. She said, my health got bad enough that I can't take care of him sexually. And she's like, men have needs. So she's like, I don't mind him having sex with other women. So I was like, okay, I thought so. So I guess the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
But on our side, none of our family knows.
No, nobody knows.
Yeah, we keep it separate. We keep family life and our play life completely separate from each other. When we're around our family, we're just like, sorry. When we're with family, we keep family with family. We don't intermingle the two. When we're with our family, we're just like every normal American person. As far as I know, we're monogamous. We don't do anything outside or anything. But when we get outside of the family, then we can do whatever we want. But family time is family time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're just like everybody else. Like we said in the beginning, we all have our jobs. We all, intermingle with society. We just don't integrate it with everybody. We don't push it upon.
We don't want the judgmental, because people do judge.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not just the judgmental part. Sex life is typically kept
secret anyway.
Secret anyways. Because, we're not going to go tell our parents, say, hey, guess what we're doing tonight?
Chelsey does.
Well, maybe she does, but we don't.
I did.
I'm not going to be.
She's gone now.
I'm not going to be calling my mom up. Hey, Mom, guess what me and the wife did tonight?
What the fuck?
No, we're not like that. We live a very normal life, but we also live the swinging life on the flip side. Mm-hmm. We all have fun, and the other, like I said, all you gotta do is just be open about it. Talk about it, and just don't go out and do something and come back. Hey, guess what I didn't? No. You want to do it beforehand. You say, I'll go to my wife. Hey, is it alright if I go play with such and such? And they say yes or no. If it's a no, it's a no. If she goes, yeah, I don't care. Go ahead. And then it's game on. And the same goes for her. She'll say, hey, you mind if I play with so and so? I may say yes. I may say no. And if I say no, she'll go, okay. And she might ask me why, or vice versa. I might ask her why, because we both may have valid good points of why we don't want somebody playing with somebody else.
Well, that's a good question. Like, where will you guys draw the line on another person?
Let's talk about.
Well, there's one person in particular that Carol kind of liked, and I, at the beginning, and then I kind of felt him out. I was like, no. I was like, there's something about him. There's something not right with him. I said, he's going to be a no. I said, there's no way no. And he ended up being a flat-out weirdo.
Tall guy?
Yeah. Yes. Him.
What was the signs he was giving off, or negative signs?
He's a really good judge of character.
This guy is just kind of skeevy. He's the same guy that I explained that he got mad at my roommate because he was getting all the girls, and he started spreading rumors.
Right, but this all happened before.
No, our conversation happened before.
Yeah, our conversation happened before all this happened.
But he just kind of gives off a skeevy vibe.
He does. I looked at him. There was just something about him that just didn't seem right. I looked at him, talked to him. I was like, "There's something off on this guy." Mm-hmm. I was like, "There's something wrong with him." I said, "I don't know what it is right now. I can't put my finger on it." I said, "I don't know what it is right now, but there's something wrong with him. He's going to be a no." Well, as time went on, things started coming out, and my wife goes, "Holy crap! I am glad you told me no."
What things that came out?
Just being psycho.
Like what he did to her roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, the rumors and stuff,
Yeah.
STD stuff.
Yeah.
It boils down to respect.
Yeah. And he, from what I understand, from other women in the community, he, he was very clingy with them, and they were just looking for, just
hookup?
a little bit of a hookup.
Yeah.
They were just looking for fun, and then he would, try to get more out of it.
Yeah, he's stalking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was barking up my tree for a while, and I just wasn't interested in him.
Shit.
Yeah, so I told Carol that
He's not in the. I don't ever see him in any of our community events anymore.
But I told Kat, I told Kat, like I said, he has a no and leave him alone, and she wondered why, but after about a month or two, she understood why I said no, and then she's like, okay, I understand your judgment. She goes, I think I'm going to listen to you from now on that.
Well, I listened to you then.
Yeah, you did.
Well, is there any times where you told Michael not to, I guess, like, told him no on a woman?
I really have
no.
never told him no.
No?
No, I mean, we've discussed things after the fact. There was one time that there was this woman that was really, really, really drunk, like couldn't stand up drunk, and I'm not okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, but the person itself was fine.
The person was fine.
The person itself was fine. She just didn't like the fact that this person was
Okay, it was just the situation.
But we
basically.
were at a party, though. We were at a house party,
Right.
and everybody was drinking there. I was even drinking that night. I didn't really pay attention to how plastered she was, because I was, like I said, I was drinking myself. We had a discussion. The person itself was fine. She just didn't like the fact of how plastered she was. But on her telling me no, she really hasn't really told me no on really anybody. But I typically run across, and pretty much we already know the community we're running in.
Yeah.
So,
But if she told you no, you would respect her.
well, yeah, of course. If she told me someone was a hard no, like I told her that one person was, I was like, okay, then no problem. I'll leave it alone. But the community we pretty much know everybody, so everybody pretty much is an okay, unless we spot somebody new there or something like that, and then we feel them out, and after we feel them out, it's like, okay, that person will be an okay, or if it's like that other person, then yeah, of course, it's obviously going to be a no, and we'll respect each other's wishes.
Okay.
And neither one of us ever get mad about saying no, about the other person saying no, because it's a respect thing. If he says no, it's a no. And I'm not going to get mad about that. I might not understand it, but it's just it's how we communicate it. It's how we work it.
Yep, the same goes for me. If she tells me somebody's a no, I'm not going to get mad about it. She has a reason why it's a no. I might ask her why, and say, well, tell me why you think this person's a no. And then she'll tell me, I'm like, okay, I respect that. I'll leave it alone. No big deal.
Well, it's like really, I have to say it again, it's really just healthy, like how you guys handle everything.
Well, it's all about respecting each other and, just keeping the line of open communication. If you have the open line of communication and you respect each other, there's never going to be an issue. Because, when it comes down to it, she comes home to me every night and I come home to her every night. Me and her love each other. But when it comes down to playing, it's just sex. It's like going to the movies. You watch a movie, having a good time. You're going out and having a good time. Sex us, it's just going out and having some fun.
I might ask something just to clarify something, because you just brought something up and it kind of didn't make sense in my head. So you guys just have sex with other people, but you don't never sleep with them, right?
No, we don't. No, we don't have overnights where we sleep in the same beds. No.
So you guys are not switching houses, basically.
No.
We are not.
We're not.
No,
but there's people that do that, right?
But there are
there
are people that do, but I would prefer to come back to my house and sleep in bed with my wife, and I prefer her to do the same thing, and I'm sure she feels the same way. But when we're out and we want to play, we go out and do our thing, we have fun, but we always come home together. Yep. Because we're always going to wake up next to each other. Okay. Because we're married. So what, we go out and have sex with somebody else, but each other knows that we do that, which is not a big deal, because I know what she does and she knows what I do. But at the end of the day, me and her still love each other. We're still married, and we're still going to bed together every night. We're still on. Me and her are a team. We're not going to break up the team for that.
That's so nice. That really is like a nice thing to hear.
Intimacy without the intimacy.
Yeah. Me and her we still have our time together.
You know, we make me and her make sure we do have our time together. But then we also have our times where we play apart. You know, but as long as we let each other know.
Or we play together with someone.
Yeah, or we play together with someone.
And
but for most
But
part,
you always come back home to each
Yeah.
other.
yes,
Always.
we
And
always.
we always play safe, too.
Yeah, we always come.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we always come
Yeah.
back to home to each other.
Now let me ask, because I was about to ask something about that, about the safety stuff. Like, how is the STDs and the pregnancy
Very,
rate?
very, very low. I haven't ran across a case of mishaps or STDs since I've been doing this.
Well, one person in our community,
That was a rumor.
it was
It was a rumor. It was never verified.
it was never
Okay.
verified.
It was,
Yeah.
It was only a rumor, and it ended up being not true.
Yeah.
Somebody
Now-
just started a rumor. That's all that was.
And I do know one couple that there was a pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
and they were swingers,
Yeah.
and they swapped couples, and one girl did get pregnant, but now they're just a big happy family. You know, they share the child just like any other family would share a child, and
That's interesting, though. So there was no animosity or.
no, she was a little upset.
Uh huh.
But after everything's said and done, they live their life, and they get weekends with the child, and just like any other couple that are separated in a split family. Yeah, and then I do know one girl that she has herpes,
Mhm.
but she always has the man wear a condom, and she lets them know.
Oh, that's good.
Always
They're very
lets them know.
responsible.
She will not let any man, even with a condom,
Mm-hmm.
have sex with her without them not knowing. Like, she tells them, I have herpes. She goes, I have it. And she hasn't had a breakout in like 8-9 years. But she lets them know, so that they can make that decision. And, of course, always with a condom.
It's good rule of thumb right there.
We have a rule for condoms anyway.
Yeah.
So
Most
there's no. So there's no bareback stuff. There's no.
There's some
It does
bareback.
happen.
that's up to the couple.
Yeah, there is
Okay.
some bareback. Like my roommate, we did bareback. I do have a boyfriend that I do bareback with,
Mhm.
but he's clean, and
Okay.
he gets tested regularly.
Oh, good.
And I get tested regularly also, just to be on the safe side. But I can't get pregnant because I got my tubes tied. But if I'm going to be with somebody without a condom, I have to know for sure, not just by word, for sure that they are clean, because I've never caught anything, and I don't intend to catch anything.
Yeah,
That's
me
smart.
neither. I don't want anything that soap and water can't wash.
So-
And I know y'all
Exactly.
people. I know y'all heard the people. I don't want anything that Ajax don't wash off. Just remember, Ajax is abrasive and has bleach in it. Soap and water, people.
Trying to think of any other good questions, because it's like really just. I just find this really fascinating. Like because like I said earlier, so I have my preconceived notions on what swinging life is, and
Everybody does.
Yeah, and now, like at the parties,
mhm.
there's all condoms. There's no
It's
exception to that.
Oh, wow.
No exception.
And that's
That's
self-imposed.
Well, that's
basically.
still up to the couple too. Like, you
I-
know,
I bet, yeah.
There's still
well, like
that.
me and you, we've done it. However, at a
Yeah.
party, but you have to know. If you know the people, it's a little different story. But if you don't know them at all, then you play it safe. But like with my wife and I, and Chelsey and her husband, not so much, because we've known each other for so years. We all know we're clean. We all know everything about each other, so we're typically okay with that. But when it comes down to someone we don't know at all, and we just met, then we're playing it safe. You got to know the people.
Yeah. And especially a single male coming in.
Oh yeah, well, single males
Yeah,
coming in.
You can actually get a single male's perspective from him.
All right, hold on. Switching mics. And what fake name will we use for you?
It doesn't matter to him. He ain't from around here.
We can go with Bill.
Bill, just lean a little closer to the mic.
Barnacle Bill.
Yeah. That way we can. It makes it easier for me when I actually clean this up later.
Like I said, a single male's perspective on this is that condoms are always used for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an option
For single males, that is correct.
until I get to meet the couple. And normally it stays that way anyway.
So,
Just
like from a single man's perspective on you entering the swinging community, how do you go about it? How does someone pick you up, or do you pick them up? How's that happen?
I can go with that being as a single.
because Mike was a single male in it as well, but it's very hard
Mm-hmm.
for a single male to enter the community. Mainly because it's a single male.
Mm-hmm.
Respect is a big thing, a really big thing, especially with the wives. I have a rule that I always have to meet the husband.
Okay.
That's
If he-
good. That's very good.
Yeah.
That's
That's
a
my
pretty
wife.
decent rule.
If he's not going to be involved, sometimes they are.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they are, especially on the first encounters. But sometimes it's the wife just wants to play.
Okay. Sorry guys, I only have 2 mics. I didn't know there was so many people gonna be in this interview, so we're switching back and forth.
But that is true. Like,
There we go. Barrel the other way.
yeah. But that is true. Like, if my wife wants to play with somebody, I definitely need to meet the guy first. I don't need to see his package because I don't really care about that.
Maybe we should make that a prerequisite.
Well, I'm not negative. I'm not going to ask some guy to show me his unit. Sorry. Hey, dude, show me your unit first. No, negative. Anyways, I do need to meet the male first. I don't care if we meet out.
So she sees it.
And typically, I would rather meet him out in public somewhere. I don't want to bring him to my house. I say, hey, let's meet somewhere. Grab a coffee, grab a drink. Me and the wife come up there. I got to meet you first.
You don't want some psycho at your house on a first meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause
exactly.
then they know where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it personal. But then, on the other hand, now when I was a single male, and I was in the swing community, it was difficult because a lot of couples want another couple because the other guy typically wants another woman to play with.
Or
Yeah.
they want a unicorn.
Or yeah,
What's a-
but we're talking about single guys.
What's a
itself.
unicorn?
A single
single
female.
female.
Single
Okay.
female.
Everybody wants a
single
unicorn.
female.
Because
I-
they're called unicorns because there's not many single females that are in the
Very hard to
community.
find.
And they're very hard to find. So they're called unicorns. Before I got married, I was a unicorn.
Okay.
Me, preferably, I don't want a unicorn. I'd rather have someone that's married
Mhm.
because I don't need to, because that would bring up jealousy issues then.
Okay. yeah,
Because
that makes sense.
because sometimes women will think, well, she's single, this, that, and the other. Next thing you know, she wants to become buddy. She wants to come over here and hang out all the time. No, I'd rather have someone that's married, because she's got her own husband to go home to. Just like I got my own wife to come home to, and my wife comes home to me. A single female, she can bounce anywhere she wants. So I would actually prefer couples. I mean, every now and then it's okay and dandy, but not very often.
It's better.
And the wife would seriously have to approve. If she approves, that's one thing. But I'm not gonna sit here and just go looking for a unicorn because I'd rather have a couple. Every now and then, every once in a blue moon, it might be okay. But I would have to, ask the wife, hey, would this be okay? And she may either okay it or veto it,
Mhm.
And if she okays it, she may want to be here. And then
Usually
again,
unicorns is threesomes.
sometimes not.
Sometimes not, but most of the time they are. When I was a unicorn,
For the wife.
I kind of had my pick of couples when I was a unicorn. 'Cause-
Well, yeah, well, the unicorns have an easier time because it's a single female and everybody wants the single female. They got no problem going in and out where they want to go. But as a single guy, it's a lot harder.
Very hard.
It's a lot harder because
Very
because
difficult.
you
first you got to be out. The female's got to be attracted to you, and then the husband's got to approve you.
Yeah.
You know, and if either one's a no, then you're SOL. You know, so being a single guy is a lot harder, and then you have to get known. You have to go in there. You have to start talking to people, communicating, and it may take you months to be able to, to get anywhere. Yeah, because like when I was single, and I'd go out for months on end, and have no luck. But there were certain couples I'd be talking to for months on end, and all out of the blue, hey, do you want to come back and play? Hey, okay, that would be cool. But
you gotta build up
yeah,
that
because
relationship
they gotta be able to feel you out and make sure you're okay, make sure you're not a psycho or some sort of weirdo. They want to make sure you're a cool person to play with. And then the other thing is whenever you're done, don't go out in the community running your mouth. Hey,
Yeah,
and telling
that's
everybody.
one thing.
Back on the discretion.
Yeah, you don't go out.
Yeah, that's
run
one thing
your
we
mouth.
don't do. We don't sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I fucked this one and I fucked this one. They're really good or they're really sucky." We don't kiss and tell who we've had fun with. That's no.
Okay, good. So there's no like, basically what we're doing right now is the same thing you guys do within the party. Like, you're just not meaning so many details about the other person. So like, yeah, I had them, whatever.
If they ask about a certain
Sorry.
many couples will ask about a single male to get the background on them, the feedback,
What seems right?
which I've had done on me many times. And I've been vetoed more times than gotten the go ahead.
Yeah, but he's not going to he won't go to a bar and be like, "Oh yeah, did this one, this one's gonna be mine."
Definitely not. Definitely not. Discretion is a big thing in this community.
Okay.
But a single male will get this couple. Like, I was with a couple, and another couple was interested, so they will ask and get the background on him. Whether did he say anything? Was he discreet? Was he respectful? Was he
any good?
Was he any good?
Well, that makes sense though. Like, when you want to figure out, because you said like, a single male is typically more I won't say dangerous, but a little bit more so you use more caution with them.
Yes.
That makes sense. Like, you want to ask
Very
about
much,
the guy.
very much so.
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
very
yeah.
much a lot of caution with single males, just because it's that whole thing that they're just looking to get laid,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like Mike talked about. They had the problem with that one guy.
Yeah, the weird guy.
That makes it hard for single males.
Yeah, they will give a bad name.
Sometimes one
They
single
give a
male
bad name
can-
to single
can
males
ruin
that will.
a couple.
Well, like so it's because it sounds like it's not you guys are doing something a little bit beyond sex, or beyond. It sounds like there's like a little more intimacy involved, and just
there is
A lot of times
intimacy.
I have certain couples that I do a lot with. I go camping with them. In their whole, we do a lot of things together. We go out, we go to bars, we go around. It's a friendship.
And sex is just a bonus.
Sex is a bonus.
Yeah,
on the
and
whole
wow.
when one of us getting, in a time of need, whether it's a death in the family or there was another one where they developed cancer, we will do fundraisers for them.
Yep, and speaking of that, my
Very-
wife can say something on that one right there.
Shit, that was
about fundraisers.
you hit that mic, it just
Sorry.
echo.
No, in our community, my father recently passed away.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it really sucked. But times are hard on my mom, and our community got together and did a fundraiser.
Because like I said, we all become friends.
Yeah,
We care about each other.
on that fundraiser, when I kind of found out that her mom was going to be strapped for cash, I talked to one of the people that heads the party. I say, hey, my wife's mom just passed away. My father-in-law just passed away. Her mom's having to pay for this, and she's going to be pretty short on cash.
I was like, is there any way we can do some sort of fundraiser? You know, like they do what they call poker runs. But that's a different story there. But you know, can we do some sort of fundraiser to help her mom out? And at that point in time, I haven't talked to my wife about that yet. And she's like, yeah, sure. So they did a fundraiser, and after they did the fundraiser, that's when I informed my wife that they did this fundraiser, and they raised a bunch of money for her.
Wow.
Yes.
Because I said we're all friends.
Yeah.
You know, we all care about each
Yeah.
other.
This goes beyond, like, sorry to interrupt, but like this goes beyond like just fetish or sex. It's like it's really like a really
It's a
community.
community.
Yeah, it's a real community.
It's a tight-knit community.
It's a very tight-knit community.
Very
Wow.
tight.
We're not
Very
sex
tight-knit.
deviants. You know, we're not out to
we're
steal
not
your
deviants at
husbands
all.
or steal your wife. You know, we're
We all
a
become
group of
really-
friends that sometimes have fun with each other, but we all, at the end of the day, we all care about each other.
This
Yes.
is very enlightening because, like I said, like outside looking in, I never knew about this part of it.
No.
Like you only hear about the sex part.
And not a lot of people know about this.
A lot of people. That's the only thing people like. That's like a lot of people. That's all they think about is the sex. It's not all just about sex. Like I said about the fundraiser, I was able to gather all this money for her mom, which we're about to give to her because her dad just passed 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
And so we got the check together, and all I gotta do is go deliver it to her mother, which I'll be doing probably sometime this week.
mm-hmm.
She has no idea that this fundraiser happened. And Carol just found out about this fundraiser. My wife, Kat, just found out about this fundraiser.
Fucked up.
So, anyways,
It's, guys, we've been making mistakes with the aliases for a while. I'm pretty sure you guys figured it out already.
don't worry about it. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Alias.
So, anyways, my wife, I told her after the fundraiser this happened, she looked at me, she's like, you did what? And she goes, I cannot believe you did it. I said, I did this. And then when the fundraiser happened and they got the money together, they got us on Skype, and they counted all the money out that was gathered that evening for her
Because we
mom.
couldn't be there at the party that night.
Yeah, because we were freshly still dealing with the death.
Yeah.
And Carol's like, I could not. And it was very.
You fucked up again.
Shut up. Yeah. Anyways, you'll be all right in the morning. So, anyways,
It's okay. We're not using last names. I'm not gonna put the last names up either. So nobody's gonna find you guys.
the last name's Cumbubble.
I don't know. Like, I had to think about it for a moment. Like, wait, it's a joke. It's a joke.
It is.
I'm like, Kumbo, how you spell that? I was thinking Kumm, 2
No, it
M's.
spells just how it sounds.
But anyways, so we got the money together, and I think it's going to help her out a lot, And sometimes people just need help, and we don't mind helping in the community, or outside of the community, we don't mind helping, Just because we like to have fun, with other people periodically, doesn't mean we're not human. Doesn't mean we don't care about
We're
people.
normal.
We are
average
normal.
people.
Yeah, we're normal, average people.
I said it's not about the sex all the time.
No, it's not
No,
always
it's
about the
supposed to
sex.
get together
The sex is just a
have
bonus.
fun.
Yeah,
It's like you go to work, you do a hard job, and your boss gives you a bonus check. It's same, almost the same concept, except we get
It
paid in
is-
sex.
It is the same thing. Just yes, we get paid sex.
Yes, yes. It's just us. We're friends that periodically like to have sex. But at the end of the day, we're a community. We're all really good friends, and we care about each other, and we try to do the human thing. We try to live good. I mean, so what? We have a little bit of fun.
It's no one's business.
Yeah. And what we do behind the closed door
Nobody's
really doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm not going to their house, knocking on the door. Hey, what are you doing behind your closed doors? I don't care what you're doing behind your closed doors. It's truthfully none of my business what you do in your own house.
Everybody does something.
Yeah, everybody has those little secrets.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're not out to steal your girlfriends and your boyfriends and your wives and your husbands. We're, just normal people.
With a fetish.
Before I go on to the question and answer part, or the question part, I want to ask one more question, because I remember this on Friday night when we were talking, because I was surprised by this. Like, explain how big the community here is in Jacksonville.
It's a pretty good
It's
community.
large.
Yeah, it's pretty
very
large.
large.
See, because I was surprised by that because, like I said, it took me. I had to go on Reddit, and some guy on Reddit was the one who told me to
Because
find
it
that
was
bar.
very
It's the
discreet.
Yeah, it's
It's
discreet.
tight.
Very, very
Well, he's the one.
discreet.
And you're
But-
an outsider, not so much an outsider, but you're a single male. You're basically a single male looking into the lifestyle,
Yeah.
and you want to interview people. So
Yeah, that's why it was really hard. And
that's going to sketch a lot of people out on it because you're going to put it on a podcast and all this. It's hard enough for a single male to enter this. And
Yeah.
you're interviewing people.
I'm
and
just trying to
talking
get
with different
an honest
people.
story
It's
about
like,
it.
honestly, when I first seen you, when I was in the bar, I was looking at because you were checking,
Yeah, I was doing my stuff.
seeing what you were doing your thing.
Yeah, and I knew
I was
like I had to
this-
be careful.
This guy
I knew-
looks a little
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew.
like he's all by himself, sitting at the bar, trying to figure shit out.
Yeah, like I knew. That's why it took me a while to get off the bar because like for other people like it's easier. Like when I do the other interviews, like it's easier to get them because I either email them or I find them face to face and like we're just one on one. But like when I was at that bar, I was like, man, this is gonna be really difficult. It's gonna be really
Wait,
weird.
you're
Just ask people like, hey, are you swingers? And if you are, can I interview you?
You actually did the right thing and asked the bartender
Yeah, I wanted to figure that out first.
Yeah.
because they will tell you, yay, nay, or you know what, go for it. Go to this couple or these guys.
Yeah,
are
and that's what she
cool.
said. She said the two Wes's and
Yeah.
some other person,
Yeah.
and that's I waited for that. And like I said, I felt nervous just asking, like, okay, this could go really wrong. It could have gone really wrong.
You don't
It
wanna-
can go really bad.
Yeah,
Because you don't want to say the wrong thing and then us kind of like.
and that's
nope,
why.
Not talking to him.
That's why I brought that's why I have my business cards ready. Like,
Like-
hey, I'm not. This is not like
No,
some type
I do
like a
have-
plan.
yeah.
This is not some kind. But
I do have to say you were very respectful when you're entering into the conversation.
Well, like,
with
could-
it. It was
I want to take this podcast because I actually get a lot of. This is my passion. This is kind of something I get meaning out of because I like learning about. I was a psychology major. I was a cop. I love learning about people. I love learning about cultures, and I want to do this for a living.
and you led that with you were a cop, law enforcement.
Yeah.
That kind of settled.
Yeah, it's like I was an
everybody out, I
ex-cop.
think.
This, but like
What county were you a cop in?
Hmm?
What county were you a cop
I was in Savannah, Georgia.
in? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
That's okay, just wondering.
we'll talk about that later because I don't want
Yeah, that's no,
that's a really long story.
That's fine. I was just wondering, just what county?
See if he's arrested.
No, I was just wondering.
Oh, that's another good question. How many different professions are in?
Everything.
Ooh, I'm sorry, I got a little gas. How
And-
many
and
Everything from
everything.
lawyers,
Doctors,
to
lawyers,
cops
single
and
moms.
cops, lawyers?
If you
blue
look
collar,
online,
white
there's
collar.
celebrities that are swingers.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get them all walks of life.
My husband and I, we were just
Yes.
out of curiosity. We were looking online, about swingers and stuff, and I didn't realize there were so many celebrities that are swingers.
If you look hard enough, you might even find a nun.
The
Doubtful, but it's possible.
ultimate unicorn.
the ultra unicorn.
Ultimate unicorn.
Yeah, I think I'd leave that one alone.
All right, got it.
But we're all from, like, my wife does medical, I do automotive, and she does stay at home,
I'm a stay-at-home mother and costume maker. So
and he does,
Well,
fishing.
I gotta talk to you afterwards because that Ghostbuster prop I had, the backpack. Last Halloween, I went to the beaches and some drunk guy broke part of it. I tried to fix it, but one of the lights doesn't come on, so I was going to ask if you knew anyone who actually fixes props.
There is a place in Jacksonville that does stuff like that. I don't know the name of it at the top of my head.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I want to get that fixed. All right, guys, we're going to go to the question part. Just to give everyone a reminder, the audiences, these questions are psychological questions, not too bad. It's so these are open-ended questions that show like you're kind of the inner self that you show to more, so the people that are actually more intimate. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little tongue tied. That's more intimate version of yourself. So the reason why I ask these questions is because like I know the people I interview are the typical guests I have. It's not going to be what you expect. Everyone has their preconceived notions on people, and I do these questions just to show like, hey, we're all people. We all have feelings. We all have our past. We all have goals and dreams. So this is why I ask these questions. But we're going to get started, and I'm not going to ask all these questions because I have to wake up early for a big project tomorrow at work. And I think we're going to do 3 people at once, so I'm just going to go to probably 5 good questions, and that's it. Alright, we'll go with the first one. Given the choice of anyone in the world from any time period, who would you want as a dinner guest and why?
I don't know. Probably some kind of artist, like Michelangelo or something, or Kurt Cobain, because I would like to know if he really did get shot, or if he did it himself. 'Cause I think he did it himself.
Pretty interesting to know exactly why he did it too.
Yes.
I'm really big in family,
Mhm.
so it would be somebody that I've lost in my family.
Sorry.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be a celebrity or someone from the past.
It said anyone.
It's anyone. Could be anyone.
If it could be anyone, it would be my Nana. If it was anybody.
See, that's really good, like really good answers, because like typically I get like a celebrity or a historical figure, but this is the first time I actually had like, actually there was one guy before, but this is the first time I actually heard something in depth like that, like a family member. You have anyone?
I'd probably go with 2 people. One would be my grandfather on my dad's side. The other one would be William Teach, also known as Blackbeard.
William Teach.
Well,
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would
pirate,
be cool.
You know, is that
You ask him where his gold is?
I don't
Well,
care where his gold
was he-
is.
was he-
I just want to know his reasoning behind what he did and how he did it, and
I want to know where his gold is because I want to be the first one that found it.
Well, was he?
it's somewhere off the coast of South Carolina somewhere.
Wasn't he the pirate that?
Yeah, Blackbeard.
Well, not like when he would attack at night, he would put fuses all over his beard and his hair,
Yes.
light them up so it looked like he was on fire. Or just scared the shit out of anyone.
Yeah, that would be the one. Yeah.
Okay, I had to just double check and see
Yeah,
that
his
was him.
real name was William Teach, Blackbeard, a pirate, and his ship was the Queen Anne's Revenge. I mean, of course, I am into old naval pirates and things like that. It's something that's interesting.
Nerd.
But that's interesting shit, man. Pirates.
It is. You know, you're talking about an age where they would just sail the seas.
Freedom.
Yeah, just they're out on the seas, but yet they would go and rob ships,
has been what?
merchant ships, and I'd want to know why they did it, what they did it for, what was their reasoning behind it, why they didn't live a normal society life.
They'll
Because
probably
it's easier to steal.
they're probably drunk like man because this is fucking fun.
It is, but you're out on the ocean because I like going deep sea fishing, and I get on the ocean. It's just a sense of freedom. The water's nice, blue, clear, you know,
Yeah.
and it's nice out there. But you know, you do lack certain amenities when you're out at sea.
Of course.
But you know, it'd be an interesting. It would just be an interesting conversation, I think.
That will be interesting, especially William Teach.
Yeah.
What if anything is too serious to be joked about?
Death.
There's quite a few things. Cancer, you don't joke about cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Deadly diseases, things like that. There's certain things. There's things like that you don't joke about. You know, cancer to me is one of the biggest ones. I've lost family because of cancer. You know, there's kids out there with cancers, and some kids can just be horribly mean, making fun of little kids because, you know, they get chemotherapy, they lose their hair.
Yeah.
And people can be cruel. So you don't joke about cancer or medical related issues because some things you just can't help, you know, and it's nothing to joke about. You know, you don't make fun of somebody because it's a deadly disease. It is a killer. It will kill you. And yes, they lost their hair, but yes, eventually they're going to lose their life. That's not something to joke about.
Yeah.
And families
take that pretty seriously, you know. I take it very seriously, you know. You don't joke about cancer patients, you know. It's you know, it's they're going through a lot of pain, both the person who has the cancer and the loved ones around them, you know, because they're getting that chemotherapy, and it can be a painful process. So, and watching the process on that is not fun at all, because the family's got to sit there and go through it, and they're sitting there knowing, I'm going to lose my child or my father or my mother or my brother or my sister to this deadly disease, cancer.
I think from my perspective too, it's like, I think it's worse seeing a child go through it because they haven't lived yet.
My sister had cancer when she was a baby.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter what age you go through it at. It's still hurtful for everybody around them, whether you're young, old, middle age. You know, death has no number on it. Yeah. It doesn't care how old you are. Cancer does not care how old you are. If you got it, you got it. It doesn't care. It doesn't care if you're 5 years old or 60 years old or 40 years old. It doesn't matter. Cancer is a deadly killer, and you can't. And I've heard people make jokes about it. They got, you know, kid has a bald head because he went through chemotherapy, and they'll be calling him cue ball or some, or just making fun of him in some sort of way, and it's really nothing to joke about. You know, my theory is what if that was you? What if you were going through the chemo? What if you were getting that needle stuck in your arm every month, getting a chemotherapy treatment? What if you lost all your hair? Or what if it was your sister, your brother, or your mom or your dad? How would that make you feel if someone was saying them nasty words to you? You wouldn't like it. You know, people like that, I'd like to reach out and just throat punch them. You know, because it's a very serious issue.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
It is. It's very disrespectful. You know, and unfortunately, I just got done watching my father-in-law die of stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Oh. And that was probably one of the hardest things I had to do, was sit there and watch it, because I was completely powerless. There was nothing I could do. There was no way I could fix it. There was no way I could keep him. And I knew that. I had to watch that with my grandfather. Or actually both my grandfathers. My other grandfather died of lung cancer. My other grandfather died of pancreatic cancer also. And you sit there and you watch them die. Watching somebody die is no joke. It is probably one of the hardest things anybody will ever do. And especially with cancer, because there's really no cure for cancer. They can keep you comfortable for a time. They can help reduce the way it progresses. Mm-hmm. But in the end, it's fatal. And it's nothing to joke about. Some cancers they can get rid of, like breast cancer.
Remission.
You know, certain kind of cancers you can get rid of and go into remission and not have it anymore. But most of your cancers, like your lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, liver cancer, kidney cancer, things like that, they don't go away. It is a fatal disease. If you get it, you're on your deathbed. Your days are numbered. You don't know that number, but your days are numbered. And it's nothing to joke about. And when these kids get it, even the leukemia is like a bone cancer. You cannot get rid of it. There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is keep them comfortable and pray for them. You know, and hopefully it ends painlessly. And that is something people should not joke about, should not make fun of. I've seen and heard people make fun of, especially little kids. Like I said, the ones that lose their hair, kids are cruel. You know, that's not something you need to joke about. Parents, talk to your kids. Don't tease people with cancer or any type of disease. You know, it's not a joking matter. It is a fatal disease. It is a deadly disease. Anybody can get it at any point in time in their life. Mm-hmm. It is fatal. It is deadly. Don't make fun of it. Be a solution. Donate to the American Cancer Society, hospice, or anything like that. Help these families out. You know, because they all need help. You know, whether it's moral support, financial support, these people need help. And making fun of them does not help it. You're becoming part of the problem, not the solution.
Okay. What's your take on what should not be joked about?
Same with him.
Same thing?
You know, cancer, you know, people dying. But another one for me is, you know, child abuse. That's something that you just don't joke about.
Yeah.
And then another one I'm very passionate about is animal abuse.
Oh,
don't abuse
yeah, I hate
animals.
seeing that.
I have an 80-pound pit, and when we first
Ooh.
got him, the vet said that he had a slim to none chance of living.
Mhm.
And he was 30 some odd pounds. He was a skeleton with skin stretched over him, and he survived. Because I rescued him. My husband's like, "You want that ugly ass dog?" And I was like, "I do." I didn't want a dog that
Correct.
big, but that's what I got. But I don't, you don't abuse the innocent. You don't abuse children because they're innocent. You don't abuse dogs or cats or any animal, even if it's a vermin. You don't abuse them. If you have vermin in your house, you take care of it humanely. You don't sit there and torture it to death.
That's true. Like, I feel like if you have to kill an animal or like put an animal out of its misery,
Do
do
it quickly and humanely.
quickly as possible.
I used to hunt, so like I think it's okay to hunt, but do it humanely and quickly.
Coming from a hunting family, coming from a hunting family, it's a one shot, one kill.
Yeah.
Don't let the animal suffer. You
Yeah.
track that animal. If you wound it, you track that animal until you find it.
You don't want it to be tortured to death.
So, what's your take, Kat? What's your answer?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. It's cancer and death.
Cancer and death. Okay. We'll do something a little more lighthearted. Oh, this is it's a new question I started doing, and I got some interesting responses. What conspiracy theories do you believe in?
I don't believe in any conspiracy
No?
theories.
Not none at all.
No.
None at all.
I don't have really any conspiracy theories. Now, my oldest son,
Yeah.
he just turned 15. He is a conspiracy nut job. He's got books upon books of the Illuminati.
The little one.
Yeah, and he is now getting my younger child into the Illuminati, and God forbid, every time they see a fucking triangle, it's the Illuminati. They drive me freaking crazy over it. But I do believe, I do, it's not conspiracy, but the Loch Ness monster, I believe in all that.
The Loch Ness monster.
That's more myth.
Mythical.
Yeah,
But I do
than
believe it's
conspiracy.
shit like that. But yeah, my oldest is a conspiracy
I
nut
have
job
no
with the Illuminati,
conspiracies
and
at
so
all.
is my baby. My baby's becoming a
I'm
conspiracy.
pretty much a realist.
Yeah.
Do you have any conspiracies you believe in?
Conspiracies? Probably one. The person who really shot Kennedy.
See, that's interesting. It could be a person or a group.
I don't think it was a group. Well, we all know it wasn't who they said it was to begin with, which was Lee Harvey Oswald. My theory
It was
is
the babushka on the
no.
grassy knoll taking
Babushka.
the pictures.
Nope. I think it was his vice president had someone do it.
Johnson.
Yeah, Lyndon B. Johnson. I had a friend whose father was a Secret Service agent to John F. Kennedy, and he's actually writing a book on who actually shot him. He knows who shot him, and it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. He has a
Oh, they know who shot you.
oh, yeah.
See, I think-
But I think it was somebody Lyndon B. Johnson hired.
Yeah.
And if you ever notice, after the Kennedy assassination, there was no more convertible limos. They got rid of the convertible limos after Kennedy because they didn't want no more.
President's getting shot.
Yeah,
Interesting about that. That was I think that's when they actually made it a federal crime. Actually killed the president, because before it was a state crime.
no, it was federal. Back when Lincoln got assassinated, that was federal.
No, 'cause I remember something about the law saying that there was a weird law. Like, it wasn't something with the federal law, like they didn't have jurisdiction over the president's death. Something about that, because he was killed in, was it Texas, right? He was killed,
Yeah,
and they had to get I guess the couple lawyers involved to actually get his body removed, then bring him back to Washington. It was kind of weird about the jurisdiction.
yeah,
jurisdiction's a little bit different, but either which way, assassinating the president's never a good thing.
Okay. We're going to, because it's kind of getting late, I want to make sure you guys have fun and I go home and get some sleep. We'll do 2 more questions and that's it. What are you guys' spiritual beliefs?
I believe in God. I am a Christian. I believe in God. You know, there is a Holy Ghost. There is a Mother Mary. There is a Jesus Christ, and there is a God. And of course, if you believe in God, of course, you have Satan. Mm-hmm. You know, and God is my Savior. So I believe in God. I don't believe in the Big Bang theory. Mm-hmm. You know, in Genesis, God created pretty much everything. And if you look into your mind or your thoughts, you're like, because there's things that your mind just can't fathom. Like space goes on forever.
Yeah.
Our mind can't fathom. Time always has been. Time will always be. Forever, you just can't, because in our mind there's always a beginning and an end. Like God said, He goes, I always have been, always will be. You can't fathom that because He's like, well, when did He start? He always was. Because in our mind there's always a beginning and end. But it's like you got birth and you got death. So there's always a beginning and an end. But in God's eyes, there is no beginning, there is no end. But some minds can't really fathom that. So I believe in God, I believe in Christianity, and I just believe in being good to people.
See, I smoked some pot yesterday and I actually thought about that. Like, man, how big is the universe? I got scared myself. I scared myself. Like, man, this is.
You will scare yourself.
The universe.
Think about how
It's infinite. It goes forever in each and every single direction. You will never find the beginning and you will never find the end of it because it goes on forever. There is no beginning and there is no end. But our minds are always so into. I'll throw something at you. But there is no beginning, no end. Our minds just can't fathom because we're always used to everything being time-based.
Yeah.
So,
if you guys want to know how it feels not to be in time, take mushrooms. Like I ate them, like a high dose of mushrooms.
No, I'm not. I don't do any. I ain't doing any type of drugs.
I did the heroic dose of mushrooms. That was like close to 5 grams. I ate it. That was one hell of a trip because I actually thought, like, man, what is time? And I lost concept of time.
The last time I did mushrooms, I got lost.
Concept of time?
What?
Acid.
I did acid once. I'll never do it again.
No.
That was terrifying.
Acid, I stayed in the bathroom trying to hold my face up because I thought it was melting.
Without good friends.
I think that's why everybody tells me.
You gotta have good friends around you. I've done acid a few times.
No, I think once was enough for me.
You gotta be around really, really, really good friends.
Maybe in the future, but I don't think I could do acid again. But
Try peyote.
that's on the next. That's on my list.
I've
Peyote,
done peyote.
ayahuasca.
It'll make you hallucinate.
I've done peyote.
I did DMT. Like that's actually pretty interesting.
Try some gypsum weed.
All right. So what were you saying?
Go ahead.
With your question,
Yeah, the spiritual beliefs.
I would say I'm non-dominational
Mhm.
or Baptist. I've been baptized both of them.
Yeah, I'm non-denominational myself, but I believe in the whole.
I'm a non-denominational Christian.
Okay. That's actually pretty. Huh. I thought swingers would be more atheist. Be on the atheist
No.
side.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, but like I said, that's my
Yeah.
preconceived notion of it.
No, there is a God.
Okay. And this is gonna be the last question. I ask this question to everyone. What's the worst thing you have ever done, and what's the best thing you ever done in your life?
Best thing I ever done was being a foster mom.
Really?
I thought it was marrying me.
Being a foster mom. That was
Being
the
a
best
fo-
thing.
And the worst thing?
Marrying my ex-husband.
Yeah, that sounds like a really bad situation.
What's your best and worst thing?
Bill? Bill?
My best thing was
I gotta talk a little closer.
my best thing is definitely creating my daughter, having my daughter. Best thing I've ever done in my life.
What will be the worst?
The worst?
person you had it with.
No, I wouldn't go on getting married. The worst thing I ever did is I was, in my life, I was arrested for a DWI
Mm-hmm.
a week to the day before my
Can you talk a little louder because it's barely picking up on here?
A week to the day. I get closer to this mic. I was arrested for DUI a week to the day before my grandmother was killed by a drunk driver.
Wow.
Worst thing I ever did in my life.
But you never got actually just got arrested for it, right?
I was arrested and I actually had to serve time with the man that killed my grandmother.
Wow. Wow, that's sad.
Which changed my whole perspective of life.
Like, how did you reconcile that?
Still haven't.
Man, that's really deep. Well, I really wasn't expecting that part.
And I still haven't reconciled that. Because I still, at this day, I still not the way I was in that point.
Mm-hmm.
I still drink and drive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only with a couple of beer. Like,
You don't do it to where
I
you're
don't,
flabbergasted.
I'm not by any chance
A danger on the road.
a danger on the road. There's a couple of beer at dinner. I'll drive. I don't do
You
that
don't. You don't
anymore.
get drunk and drive anymore.
No.
You just have a drink or two and then.
I have a drink or two and go home. But that is one thing in my life I still haven't reconciled yet.
Okay.
I guess the best thing would be my children.
Yeah?
Yeah. I
What was that?
Thunder.
Yeah, guys, there's a storm going on outside.
I have 3 wonderful children. So
Aw.
one, maybe not as wonderful as the other 2, but he is a teenager, and a boy. So working on that.
And what would be the worst thing?
I would say my ex, but I mean my ex made my children, or 2 of them my children. So it's kind of, I would say my ex, but it's not my ex. Maybe the things that I did with my ex. He just wasn't a nice person. He beat up some college student because they were drunk, for his money, and even though I wasn't part of it, I felt just as guilty because I knew about it, and I
Yeah.
ended up calling the police and, saying that, there's a kid really hurt, call the ambulance, and my ex is like, why the hell did you do that? And I'm like, because that's
Right.
somebody's baby. Like, I'm not going to let him bleed to death in the alley. But he did things that made me feel awful.
And you're glad you found someone special, right?
Yes, my
He's not paying
dork and
attention.
my dork and tinfoil, yeah. That's my
Alright.
dork and tinfoil.
Okay, and last one.
Well, the best thing I ever done in my life. Well, that's a pretty easy one. Well, that would be marrying my wife and bringing 2 great families together.
Oh.
And build. It is, but it's true. I mean, I have great in-laws, and now she has in-laws and not outlaws. So I did good on that. I brought 2 great families together. And we're very close knit. So that was probably the best thing I've ever done.
And what will be the worst thing?
Oh, the worst thing I ever done. Let's see here. Well, that's kind of hard to say because I really haven't done that many bad things, other than attending the clan meetings, doing the cross. Just kidding.
The only minority in the house.
Just kidding.
You say that with the only minority here.
I'm only kidding.
Crack a joke.
Believe it.
That's not something I would actually do. Trust me.
Believe it or not, I am trying to do an episode of that. Like that one I'm afraid to do. Like that one I feel like
I'd recommend not doing that one.
but that's kind of like a dream episode, not a dream episode, but like something to get off my list. Like, okay, let me talk to an actual clans member, especially if he's talking to me.
I don't know about that because you might be on the.
I will tell you,
you might be end up being tied to the burning cross. I'd probably not recommend that. But the worst thing I ever did is probably back when I was
wasn't going to tolerate that.
Probably the worst thing I did is probably back when I was in high school. It was wasn't a bad thing, but it wasn't a good thing. There was a kid getting picked on, a little 7-year-old kid, and I was like 15, 16. There was another kid there about my age, and this older boy was picking on this other kid while we were playing football. And, well, I forcefully asked the other kid, stop picking on this little boy. I mean, he's 7 years old, and we were playing football, and it was over a jacket. The kid was wearing a jacket. It was cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, look, leave the kid alone. He's 7 years old. You know, his mom told him to wear a jacket. He's going to wear a jacket. Just because we're out here playing football and you don't like it, it doesn't matter. He's 7 years old. His mom told him to do it. Leave him alone. Stop picking on him. Well, he got mad at me and kind of sucker punched me. So I commenced to beating the tar out of him. And, well, a couple of his buddies started coming up after me. And at that time, the other kid was on the ground. And his face was kind of in the dirt. So I grabbed his head, turned it around, so it was facing me. He was laying on his belly. I grabbed his head, turned it around. I said, hey, if you come any closer, try to touch me, I'm going to snap his neck and kill him, and you're next. I said, leave me alone. Well, they backed off and ran away. And so I let the kid up. He said, well, I'm going to go home and get my big brother to beat you up. Okay, go on ahead. Go tell your big brother. Go do what you got to do. I said, don't be mad if he gets his ass whooped too. Well, he runs home, gets his big brother. Of course, his big brother's like 3 times my size. He's like 6'2", 210 pounds. Mm-hmm. Pretty big guy. And I knew who he was, so I went in the backyard, grabbed a handful of sand, put a pipe up my long sleeve shirt. He comes up, and I'm standing out front, waiting. He comes up, and he goes to throw a punch at me. I throw the sand in his eye, drop the pipe into my hand, and beat him in the head with the pipe in his head.
Shit.
And left him laying in my front yard, told him to take his ass home. I was like, I'm the wrong one to mess with. Leave me alone. I said, he was picking on a 7-year-old kid. I protected him. Now I'm defending myself. And then, of course, the next thing I know, I had the cops knocking on my door for assault and battery charges with an intent to kill charge. Mm-hmm. Which I got off because there were several neighbors outside. It's like, no. If they came after him, he just stood his ground.
Yeah.
He didn't back down. So that's probably about the worst thing I ever did, but it was still a good thing from keeping the 7-year-old little boy getting picked on.
Damn. It's pretty badass. To be honest with you.
No, not really.
You did what you had to do.
I did what I had to do. That's all it is, you know.
Okay.
They want to come at me, I'm just going to one up the score.
All right. Well, we'll end it here. I want to thank all you guys. This was like a really great episode. I didn't, like I said, typically I do one-on-one and end up being 4 people. I thought it was just going to be 2, but it ended up being 4, which is good because I wanted to get the different perspectives. We got a single guy's perspective, a married perspectives on this. But thank you guys again for this opening up to me, giving me an honest look at what happens with swingers and the swinger life. And I'm really grateful. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for coming.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you guys again for listening. I want to thank Rebecca, Kat, Michael, and Bob. That's not their real names, but I really want to thank them for letting me come to their house, record an episode, being really honest up front with me, and giving a different view of what swingers are. Me personally, I probably will never participate in that life, but to is their own. They live their life, and it seems like they're really happy, and who am I to judge if they're happy with what they're doing and they're honest about it too. But I hope you guys really enjoyed the episode. I want to thank, like I said, I can't remember their names right now. I want to remember, okay, thanks. I want to thank Kat, Rebecca, William, Michael, Bob, whoever their aliases names were. I want to thank them for being honest with me and letting me record this interview. And Yeah. And also, too, check out the website again, ataboolife.com. Funny articles, some good shit on there. And I hope you enjoy it.
Most of the letters I've ever written have been to myself. My favorites were addressed to a man I knew for 8 months. So we've been friends for nearly 10. And anything other than the merging of our souls feels like my life is filled with stress.